The audition video that changed my life lasted exactly 47 seconds. Me, in my cramped Buenos Aires apartment, performing a monologue from La Dama Boba against a wall with peeling paint. My roommate Lucia held the phone at a terrible angle. The lighting was harsh. My dress was borrowed. But something in those 47 seconds caught fire online. Maybe the raw emotion, maybe the desperation in my eyes, maybe just luck. By morning, the video had 200,000 views. By evening, 500,000. Casting directors started calling. Small production companies reached out. For 48 hours, I thought maybe this was it. Maybe Elena Vargas, 26-year-old nobody from Rosario, who'd been waiting tables and taking extra roles in commercials for 3 years, was finally going to catch her break. Then, Lorenzo Santorini saw the video. I didn't know who he was when his assistant called. Just knew it was someone powerful wanting a meeting. Senor Santorini saw your audition. He's interested in discussing opportunities. Can you meet tomorrow at Cafe Tortoni? 2 p.m. I said yes because I said yes to every opportunity. Showed up at the historic cafe in San Telmo wearing my best dress. Still not great, but the best I had. Sat at the table they'd reserved, ordered water because I couldn't afford coffee, and waited. Lorenzo arrived 10 minutes late, flanked by 2 men in expensive suits who didn't sit down. He was maybe 55, silver hair perfectly styled, wearing what I'd later learn was a custom Italian suit that cost more than I'd made in 2 years. Handsome in that distinguished older man way. Powerful. The kind of man who walked into rooms and made everyone instinctively straighten their spines. He sat across from me, waved the bodyguards back, smiled like we were old friends. Elena Vargas, the girl who's become Buenos Aires' newest sensation? Your video has, what is it now? 2 million views? 2.3 million last I checked. I still don't understand why. Because you have something rare, authentic emotion. Most actresses your age are technically perfect, but emotionally hollow. You're the opposite, raw, untrained, but absolutely real. That's valuable. He ordered coffee for both of us without asking if I wanted any. Tell me about your dreams. What do you want from your career? I want to act. Real roles, not commercials for yogurt. I want to do telenovelas, theater, maybe film eventually. I want to be someone people remember. And what are you willing to sacrifice for that? Whatever it takes. I've been in Buenos Aires 3 years. I've waited tables, done extra work, taken classes I couldn't afford. I've auditioned for everything. I'm willing to work harder than anyone. Hard work is admirable but insufficient. This industry runs on connections, on who you know, on who's willing to open doors. He leaned forward. I can open every door in Buenos Aires for you, Elena. I know producers, casting directors, network executives. One conversation from me, and you're starring in the next major telenovela. But these favors, they require something in return. What kind of something? Your loyalty, your exclusivity. You work only with productions I approve. You attend events I select. You become, in essence, my protégé, my discovery, the woman I've chosen to invest in. His smile was warm, but his eyes were calculating. In exchange, I make you a star. Real fame, real money. Everything you've been killing yourself to achieve, handed to you in 6 months instead of 6 years. It sounded perfect. Too perfect. Why me? There are thousands of actresses in Buenos Aires. What makes me worth this investment? Honestly, I saw something in your audition. Something that reminded me of my late wife. She was an actress too. Beautiful, talented, gone too soon. His voice softened with what seemed like genuine grief. I want to help someone the way I helped her. And Elena, you have the potential to be extraordinary. I just need you to trust me. I should have said yes immediately. Should have jumped at an opportunity most actresses would kill for. But something felt off. The way he looked at me, not like a mentor evaluating talent, but like a collector appraising a prize. The way his men stood at attention nearby. The careful control in every word. I need to think about it. The warmth in his expression flickered, just for a second. Then the smile returned. Of course, this is a significant decision. Take a few days. But Elena, he slid a business card across the table. Opportunities like this don't come often, and they definitely don't wait. He left. I sat there with expensive coffee I hadn't ordered, trying to shake the feeling that I'd just been interviewed for something much darker than a mentorship. I asked around about Lorenzo Santorini over the next 2 days, got careful non-answers from people in the industry. Finally, a producer I'd worked with on a commercial pulled me aside. "Elena, whatever Santorini offered you, turn it down." "Why? Who is he?" "He's the patriarch of the Santorini family. They run most of organized crime in Buenos Aires. Protection, loan sharking, money laundering through restaurants and entertainment. He's killed people. He's destroyed careers. He's untouchable because he owns half the politicians and all the judges who matter." The producer looked genuinely scared. "Women he mentors don't have careers. They have obligations. They become his property. Some of them disappear. Please don't get involved with him." I called the number on Lorenzo's card that evening. His assistant answered. "I need to speak to Senor Santorini. Tell him Elena Vargas is declining his offer." "I'll relay the message. But Miss Vargas, are you certain? Senor Santorini doesn't respond well to rejection." "I'm certain, thank you." I hung up feeling relieved and terrified in equal measure. Relieved that I'd avoided something dangerous. Terrified that I'd just insulted a crime lord. For 3 days, nothing happened. I went back to auditions, back to my waitressing job at a cafe in Palermo, back to my normal struggling actress life. Started to think maybe Lorenzo would just move on, find another protege, forget I existed. Then everything started falling apart. First, I lost my waitressing job. The manager, who'd always been friendly, called me in, looked uncomfortable and said, "I'm sorry, Elena, I have to let you go." "Why? Did I do something wrong?" "No, you're a good worker, but I received a call. Someone said if I kept employing you, they'd make problems for my business. I can't afford problems. I have a family. I'm sorry." Second, my auditions dried up completely. Every casting director I'd been in contact with suddenly stopped returning calls. Productions that had expressed interest went silent. One agent finally told me the truth. "Someone's blacklisted you, Elena. I don't know who or why, but your name is poison right now. No one will hire you. I'm sorry." Third, my landlord gave me 30 days notice. Buildings being renovated, everyone has to leave. Except when I asked my neighbors, no one else had received notices. Just me. It took a week for me to understand what was happening. Lorenzo Santorini wasn't accepting my rejection. He was systematically destroying my life. I tried calling him. His assistant said he was unavailable. I went to Cafe Tortoni. The staff said he hadn't been there in weeks. I was being frozen out while my career and livelihood crumbled. Lucia, my roommate, finally confronted me. "What did you do? Who did you piss off?" "Because, Elena, people are asking me about you. Scary people. And I can't have this energy in my life. I think you need to find somewhere else to live." "Lucia, please, I don't have anywhere to go." "I'm sorry, but whoever's targeting you, they're powerful. And I can't be collateral damage." I ended up sleeping on a friend's couch. Then that friend got a threatening call and asked me to leave. Then another friend. Then another. Within 2 weeks, I was completely isolated. No job, no home, no friends willing to risk association, no auditions, no prospects. I was sitting in a park in Recoleta, my possessions in 2 bags, trying to figure out where to sleep that night when Lorenzo's assistant found me. "Miss Vargas, Senor Santorini would like to speak with you. He sent a car." "Tell him no. With respect, I don't think you're in a position to refuse. Please, the car is waiting." The black Mercedes was parked at the curb. I could see Lorenzo in the back seat, watching. I had a choice: refuse again and continue spiraling into homelessness, or get in the car and face whatever came next. I got in. Lorenzo smiled like he'd expected nothing else. "Elena, you look terrible. When's the last time you ate?" "Go to hell." That's understandable anger, but misdirected. "I didn't do this to you. You did this to yourself." He gestured to the driver, who started moving through Buenos Aires traffic. "I offered you everything: success, security, a future. You refused. That was your choice. What's happening now? These are natural consequences of refusing powerful people who offer genuine help. You destroyed my life because I said no to you. I removed my protection. There's a difference. Buenos Aires is a difficult city for women without connections. Without someone protecting them, bad things happen. Jobs disappear. Opportunities vanish. People become vulnerable. He poured himself whiskey from a crystal decanter built into the car. I'm offering again. Come work for me. Let me manage your career. In exchange, all of this stops. Your problems disappear. You get your life back. Better than before. And if I refuse again? Then things continue to get worse. Much worse. Right now, you're unemployed and homeless. Next week you might find yourself with legal problems, debt problems. Maybe someone files charges against you, theft, fraud, anything really. Maybe you find yourself unable to leave Argentina because you're under investigation. Maybe... He sipped his whiskey. The point is, Elena, I don't lose. I don't accept rejection. And I certainly don't let talented women rot in parks when they could be thriving under my guidance. This is insane. You're punishing me for not wanting to work with you. I'm showing you reality. You have two options. Work with me and have everything you've dreamed of. Or continue refusing and lose everything you have left. It's not punishment. It's education. He stopped the car outside a beautiful apartment building in Recoleta. This is my offer. A furnished apartment. A salary. Acting jobs starting immediately. All yours. Just say yes. I looked at the building. At my 2 bags containing everything I owned. At Lorenzo's calm, patient expression. What do you actually want from me? Your talent, your loyalty, your company. I told you, my wife was an actress. I miss that world. Having someone brilliant to mentor, to shape, to watch succeed. You remind me of her. I want to recreate what we had, that's all. That's not all. You want to own me. Ownership is such an ugly word. I prefer partnership. You provide talent and companionship. I provide opportunities and protection. Everyone wins. Except I lose my freedom, my autonomy, my ability to make my own choices. Freedom is overrated when you're sleeping in parks, Elena. Pride is expensive when you're hungry and alone. He opened the car door. Take a week. Think about it. Stay in this apartment while you decide. I'll pay for food, give you time to recover. Then we'll talk again. And you can make an informed decision instead of an emotional one. I should have refused, should have walked away. Maintained my pride even if it killed me. But I was exhausted, scared, completely out of options. And the apartment, I could see through the windows from the street, looked like heaven, compared to park benches and borrowed couches. I took the keys. The apartment was beautiful. 2 bedrooms, modern kitchen, balcony overlooking the park. Fully furnished, stocked refrigerator. Everything I'd need, and no locks on the inside doors. No obvious cameras. Just a comfortable prison that looked like salvation. I spent the first 3 days sleeping, eating, recovering from 2 weeks of stress and fear and uncertainty. Tried to think clearly about my situation, about whether taking Lorenzo's offer was survival or surrender. On the 4th day, Lucia called. Elena, I'm so sorry. Someone came to my apartment, asked questions about you, threatened me. I got scared. But I've been thinking, maybe you should just do what this man wants. Give him what he's asking for? Isn't that better than being destroyed? He wants to own me, Lucia. He wants total control over my life and career. But you'd be alive, working, safe. Isn't that worth something? Isn't that better than principle that leaves you with nothing? I didn't have an answer. Lorenzo came to the apartment on day 5, knocked politely, entered with groceries like we were friends, like he hadn't been the architect of my destruction. You look better, healthier. That's good. You need strength for what comes next. He started making coffee. Have you decided? I don't want to work for you. I don't want to be your protege or possession or whatever you're calling it. I want my own life, my own choices. Can you understand that? I understand perfectly. I also understand it's impossible. Elena, you don't have your own life anymore. You have the life I allow you to have. That's reality now. The question isn't whether you'll work for me. It's whether you'll work for me comfortably, with money and success and dignity. or whether you'll work for me desperately, with nothing and no one and no options. Choose the terms, but you will choose me eventually. You're insane. I'm patient, and I'm inevitable. He poured 2 cups of coffee. Here's what happens next. You can stay in this apartment, rent-free, while you think about it. But Elena, every day you stay here, you accept my generosity. Every meal you eat that I paid for. Every night you sleep in comfort I provided. You're already compromised. Already accepting my help. Already mine in all the ways that matter. The formal agreement is just paperwork at this point. You can't just claim ownership of a person. I just did, and you're still here. Still accepting what I offer. Still choosing comfort over principle. He sat across from me. I don't need you to love me, Elena. I don't even need you to like me. I just need you to accept reality. I saw something in you. I want to cultivate it. Make you famous. Give you everything you've dreamed of. In exchange, you give me your time, your talent, and your loyalty. That's the deal. It's not negotiable. It's not optional. It simply is. And if I run, leave Buenos Aires, go back to Rosario, start over somewhere you can't reach. I can reach everywhere, and running just makes things harder. Do you know what happens to people who run from me? They're found. They're returned. They're made examples of. Is that what you want? To spend your life looking over your shoulder? Knowing that eventually, inevitably, I'll collect what you owe me? I don't owe you anything. You owe me for destroying my offer, for insulting me by refusing, for making me work this hard to claim what should have been given freely. His voice hardened. I'm offering you dignity, Elena, a chance to choose this willingly, to work with me instead of being broken by me. But if you keep refusing, he stood. We'll see how strong your principles are when you have nothing left to lose. He left. I sat in that beautiful apartment, trying to figure out how to escape a trap that felt increasingly inescapable. I tried fighting back, went to the police, told them everything. The detective listened, took notes, looked sympathetic, then said, I'm sorry, Miss Vargas, but you have no proof, no evidence of threats or coercion. Just a man offering you opportunities you refused? That's not a crime. And Signor Santorini, he's a respected businessman. Without concrete evidence, we can't help you. I tried media, called journalists, tried to tell my story. One reporter seemed interested, came to meet me, heard everything, promised to investigate. 3 days later, that reporter published a piece about how I was making false accusations against a generous patron who'd tried to help me. About how I was ungrateful and delusional. About how I'd destroyed my own career with paranoia and poor decisions. Lorenzo had gotten to them first. Reframed the narrative, made me the problem instead of him. I tried leaving Buenos Aires. Used my credit card, still working somehow, to buy a bus ticket to Rosario. Made it to the station. Was walking to the platform when 2 of Lorenzo's men appeared, blocked my path. Miss Vargas, Signor Santorini asks that you return to the apartment. He's concerned about your safety traveling alone. I'm not going back. Then we'll have to insist. Please don't make this difficult. They didn't touch me, didn't threaten me openly, just stood there, immovable, while other passengers streamed past, making it clear that leaving wasn't an option, that my choices had narrowed to compliance or consequences I didn't want to imagine. I went back to the apartment. Lorenzo was waiting. Running was stupid, Elena, and disappointing. I thought you were smarter than that, braver than that. Apparently, I was wrong. You can't keep me prisoner. I'm not keeping you prisoner. You're free to leave anytime. But if you leave... He pulled out his phone, showed me photos. My parents' house in Rosario. My younger sister at university. My best friend from childhood. Everyone you love becomes a variable, a potential pressure point. I'd rather not use them. I'd rather you choose this, because it's smart, because it's inevitable. But Elena, I will use whatever tools necessary to make you understand your situation. My blood turned to ice. You wouldn't. I would. I have. I've destroyed careers, businesses, families, all to make a point, to show people that refusing me has costs. You're not special enough to be exempt from those rules. He sat next to me, too close. I'm offering you mercy, comfort, a chance to accept this gracefully. But if you keep fighting, I'll make you choose between your dreams and everyone you love. And we both know what you'll choose. So why go through the pain? Why not just accept now and save everyone the suffering? You're a monster. I'm a realist, and I'm someone who always gets what he wants. Right now, I want you, your talent, your presence, your acknowledgement that I won. That's all. It's not complicated. It's not even particularly cruel by my standards. I could be forcing you into worse. Instead, I'm offering you fame and comfort. You should be grateful. I'll never be grateful for this. You will, eventually, when you're famous, when you're succeeding, when you look back and realize that fighting me was pointless and accepting me was the smart play, you'll be grateful. He stood. I'm giving you 1 more week, then we start shooting your telenovela. I've already arranged it. You're starring. You'll be brilliant, and everyone will think it's because you're talented. Only you and I will know the truth, that you're succeeding because I decided you would, because I own you, because you're mine. He left me alone with that truth, with the understanding that I'd already lost, that my choices had narrowed to accepting with dignity or accepting with humiliation. But accepting was inevitable. I spent the next week in a fog, barely eating, barely sleeping, trying to find a way out that didn't exist. Everyone I called had been warned away. Every avenue of escape was blocked. Every plan crumbled before it started. Lorenzo had been thorough, had closed every exit before I had even thought to run. The telenovela started shooting on a Monday. I showed up because I didn't know what else to do. The production was real. Major network, established director, talented co-stars. My role was substantial, challenging, exactly what I'd dreamed of. And everyone treated me like I'd earned it through talent instead of coercion. Lorenzo visited the set on day 3, watched me work, smiled with proprietary satisfaction. After shooting, he took me to dinner at a restaurant so expensive I'd never have afforded it. You're good, very good. The director is impressed. The network executives are pleased. You're going to be a star, Elena. Everything I promised. He ordered wine without asking. See? This isn't so terrible. You're working, succeeding, getting everything you wanted. The only difference is that I'm the one who made it happen. That I'm the one you owe. That's not so bad, is it? You destroyed my life to rebuild it in your image. You took everything so I'd have to take what you offered. That's not generosity. That's cruelty disguised as kindness. It's education, teaching you how the world actually works. Powerful men make decisions, others adapt. You're adapting. That's smart. That's survival. And Elena? He reached across the table, took my hand. I didn't pull away because I was too tired to fight. Eventually you'll understand. This isn't me being cruel. This is me caring. I saw something in you I wanted to protect, to cultivate, to own. That's love in my world, possessive and absolute. You'll learn to appreciate it. That's not love. That's obsession. What's the difference, really? He squeezed my hand. You're mine now. My discovery, my protege, my responsibility. And I take care of what's mine. You'll see. As long as you're loyal, as long as you're obedient, as long as you remember who gave you this life, you'll have everything. Career, money, protection, everything except freedom. But freedom is overrated when you're successful. The telenovela aired 3 months later. It was a hit. I was good. Better than I'd thought possible. Critics praised my performance. Fans emerged overnight. My Instagram went from 300 followers to 300,000 in a week. Job offers flooded in. Everything I'd dreamed of was happening, and it was all poisoned by the knowledge of how I'd gotten here. That every success was tainted by Lorenzo's manipulation. That I wasn't actually talented enough to succeed on my own. I was succeeding because a crime lord had decided I would. Lorenzo arranged my schedule, approved my projects, decided which events I'd attend, and at each event, he was there, standing close, touching my arm possessively, making sure everyone knew I was his. Not his girlfriend exactly, not his lover, just his property, his creation, his proof that he could take any woman and make her into whatever he wanted. The first time I tried to break free was 6 months into my success. I signed with a different manager without asking Lorenzo's permission. Thought maybe success had given me back some autonomy? The new manager called me 2 days later. "I'm sorry, Miss Vargas. I've been informed that representing you would create conflicts with other clients. I have to drop you." Lorenzo showed up that night. "That was disappointing and stupid. Did you really think I'd allow you to make decisions without my approval? You said I'd have a career, that I'd succeed. How can I have a career if you control every decision? You have the career I give you, the success I allow. That was always the arrangement." He looked genuinely confused by my resistance. "Why is this hard for you to accept? You're famous. You're wealthy. You have everything. All I ask is loyalty and obedience. Why do you keep fighting?" "Because this isn't living. It's performing, being your puppet. Everyone in entertainment is someone's puppet, Elena. At least your puppeteer is powerful enough to make you a star. Most puppets just stay struggling." He poured himself wine from my expensive collection, wine he'd bought, in an apartment he'd rented, in a life he'd constructed. "I'm not your enemy. I'm the only reason you matter. The sooner you accept that, the happier you'll be." I tried running again, made it further this time, to the airport, through security, onto a plane to Miami. Felt free for the first time in months as the plane taxied. Then the pilot announced a mechanical issue. We'd have to deplane, return to the terminal, rebook. Lorenzo's men were waiting at the gate. "Miss Vargas? Convenient mechanical issue, wasn't it? Senor Santorini would like you to return home?" I didn't resist. Didn't scream, or fight, or make a scene. Just walked with them back to the car, back to the apartment, back to my beautiful prison. Lorenzo was colder this time. "Twice now you've tried to leave. Twice I've been merciful. There won't be a third time, Elena. Next time you run, and I emphasize this, next time we'll have consequences. Not just for you, for everyone you love, your parents, your sister, your friends who still talk to you. Everyone becomes collateral for your betrayal. Is that what you want? I want to be free. You want to be ungrateful, to take what I've given you and throw it away. That's unacceptable." He grabbed my chin, forced me to look at him. "You are mine. Your career is mine. Your life is mine. I made you, and I can unmake you just as easily. The choice is whether you accept this with grace, or whether I have to break you to make you compliant. Which will it be?" I'd been fighting for a year of resistance and failed escapes and psychological warfare. A year of success that felt hollow because it wasn't earned, just permitted. A year of living in a gilded cage, suffocating slowly. I was so tired, so worn down, so completely out of options. "What do you actually want from me, Lorenzo? Specifically, what does compliance look like? You work projects I approve? You attend events with me? You don't embarrass me by trying to leave or fight publicly. You acknowledge that your success exists because I allow it, and occasionally..." He released my chin, smoothed my hair almost tenderly. "Occasionally you show gratitude. Act like being mine is a privilege instead of a prison. That's all. And if I do that, if I comply completely, do I ever get freedom back? In time, years from now, when you've proven your loyalty, when you're established enough that leaving me won't destroy your career? Maybe. But Elena, by then, you won't want to leave. You'll understand this is the best arrangement. That I've given you more than you could have achieved alone. That being mine is better than being nobody's. You're insane. I'm patient, and I'm right. You'll see." He kissed my forehead like a father blessing a child. "Welcome home, mi amor. Welcome to accepting reality." I stopped fighting after that. Not because I accepted him, not because I was broken, but because I realized fighting openly was useless. If I wanted freedom, I'd have to be smarter, more patient, more strategic. I played the compliant protege, said yes to projects, attended events on his arm, smiled for cameras. Let him believe he'd won. Let everyone believe I'd finally accepted my situation. But secretly, carefully, I started building my own power. Made connections Lorenzo didn't know about. Saved money in accounts he didn't control. Built relationships with people outside his influence. Slowly, quietly, waiting for the moment when I'd be strong enough to break free permanently. It took 3 years. 3 years of playing his perfect creation while building my own escape route. 3 years of smiling through his possessiveness while nurturing rebellion. The opportunity came when Lorenzo had a health scare. Heart attack, minor but enough to shake his iron control for a few weeks. While he recovered, while his attention was elsewhere, I made my move. I contacted international producers. Signed a contract for a Hollywood film, big enough that breaking it would cause massive scandal, protected enough that Lorenzo couldn't easily interfere. Moved money, made arrangements, and then, when everything was in place, I called him. Lorenzo, I'm leaving. Not running. Leaving. I have a film contract in Los Angeles. I've arranged my own management. I'm done being your creation. Silence on the phone. Then, you can't leave. We have an arrangement. We had coercion, and I'm strong enough now to break it. You made me famous, made me powerful. Thank you. But that power is mine now, and I'm using it to leave. I'll destroy you. I'll tell everyone how you got your career. I'll blacklist you worse than before. You'll do nothing, because I've documented everything, every threat, every manipulation, every time you've used your power to control me. I've given that documentation to lawyers, journalists, people you can't touch. If anything happens to me or anyone I love, it all goes public. You'll be exposed, prosecuted, your empire will crumble. Is your pride worth that? More silence. Then, grudgingly, you've been planning this. For 3 years, while you thought I'd accepted being yours, I was building my own power. You taught me that, Lorenzo. How to be patient, how to play long games, how to win. I learned from the best. I could still hurt you. You could try, but I'm not the scared girl you broke anymore. I'm the star you created, and now I'm taking that and leaving. Goodbye, Lorenzo. I hung up, boarded a plane to Los Angeles the next day, started my film shoot, lived with bodyguards and lawyers and constant vigilance because I knew Lorenzo would try something. But he didn't, because I'd been thorough, because the cost of revenge was higher than his pride could justify, because I'd finally outsmarted him. 5 years later, I'm established in Hollywood. Multiple films, an Emmy nomination, real success that's actually mine. And Lorenzo, he's still in Buenos Aires, still powerful, still dangerous. But I'm beyond his reach now. Sometimes I wonder if he thinks about me, about the girl he tried to own who became strong enough to escape, about whether breaking me and rebuilding me gave me the tools to defeat him. I hope he does. I hope it bothers him. I hope he lies awake knowing that his perfect creation refused to stay created, because that's my revenge. Not destroying him, just refusing to be destroyed, just surviving, just winning. He taught me how to be ruthless, how to play long games, how to never accept defeat. I just used those lessons against him, and that's better than any other victory I could have imagined. Thank you so much for listening to this story. If you enjoyed Elena's psychological battle with Lorenzo and her ultimate victory, please hit that like button and let me know in the comments. Did you think she'd ever escape, or were you worried he'd broken her completely? I love hearing your thoughts on these dark power dynamics where survival means playing the long game. If you're new here, consider subscribing because I post stories like this every day, exploring what happens when ordinary people face powerful predators and have to become equally ruthless to survive. Drop a comment with what kind of story you'd like to hear next. Maybe another psychological thriller, or something completely different. Your suggestions help shape what I create. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.